So the most popular one is to have 13 lines on each page. So that's what we will do starting next first Sunday. Today we're going to present you with the Al-Fatiha for said purpose, for the same purpose. Even though we've been working on the Al-Fatiha, and some of you may be tired of the Al-Fatiha. Then if you are tired of the Al-Fatiha, you're probably tired of being a Muslim. You must be. Because you are obligated to recite the Al-Fatiha in every rak'ah of prayer. So if you're tired of the Al-Fatiha, you must be tired of being a Muslim. Bye. I won't say Assalamu alaikum to you. Bye. All right. So I have purchased books like this. This is it's called, I got it from Office Max, and it's called, they call it Executive Journal. And so the reason why I got it is you can easily reverse. Instead of starting from the left, you can start from the right side, and there's no problem. The pages doesn't have any numbers on it. And so this is the way it's going to look. This is something that I started several months ago. I'll get them several months ago, and I wasn't satisfied with it. So I've had many. Here's why I wasn't satisfied with this. I was using Sharpie, and the Sharpie fades through on the other side. That's all. And then Allah finally made it plain. Get you a red ballpoint pen and a black ballpoint pen, and don't worry about Sharpies. So it's going to be like this, but it will be just with a red and black ballpoint pen. We'll have the regular Arabic writing, and then under each line, it will be syllabicated. Now today, because of board space, I didn't do the regular writing. We have done it, so those of you who, if you're just starting, you can look back in the archives of Mosque on the YouTube, the way they have it stored, and you can find that we do have it done, where we have the regular writing and then the syllabication underneath it. But the board space would not allow it, and then also I extended myself a little further, and when I could do two ayahs on one line, I did that also. Making sure it didn't run out of board space, and also saving the old back from having to bend over too low. Okay, so there was a multi-purpose, double purpose there. So now, what we want to do first is go through this that we have on the board, and as I said, when you are serious about a thing, you give it all you got. Many people that I know who know me well, smile and give me a good assalamu alaikum and everything. And this is 6 years now. It'll be 6 years in December, because we started in December 2012. They haven't made the slightest effort to try to apply what we're showing you here. If you're not going to use knowledge, don't you know that's a sin? But why? Because it's a waste. If you have knowledge and you don't use it, that's a waste. And Allah hates the wasters. Knowledge is to be used. That's the only purpose for knowledge. The only purpose for knowledge. Never is knowledge for show off. Knowledge is to be used and shared. Used for yourself and shared with others. That's the only purpose for it. And that's what distinguishes a human being from other creatures. The accumulation of knowledge. We are not creatures who live our lives by, what do they call the animals? Instinct. We live our lives based on knowledge. And some of us don't realize that, so we let any kind of knowledge just creep into our minds and don't pay any attention to it. And that's just we are. And you know how I got that. And Shaitan, Allah told us that in Sultan Nas. It says, it's a whisper. He's whispered all. You think Shaitan is tired? He's whispered all of the time. And his job is to come up with something that looks like what you're supposed to be following, but is the opposite of what you're supposed to be following. To take you in the other direction. And if you are not employing your taqwa, your God consciousness, you will think that what he whispered to you, because they say he whispered, in mistranslation say he whispers into the hearts of men. If he could whisper into the hearts of men, we wouldn't have a chance. He whispers into the cake and get into the cavity, but not the heart itself. Sudur is not heart. It's qalb. Qalb is heart. Qalbun is plural for heart. Qalb. And sudur is the cavity word. So he gets in and he whispers. And because we're not exercising the God consciousness that we should, then when it comes to us, we think it's our own idea. Because it came right in there. Whispered to it. So anyway, I don't want to give a khutbah on that today. I just want to get us started here, and we don't have a whole lot of time. So this is the Al-Fatiha, and it's syllabicated, but the regular writing is not up here. For those of you who may not be familiar, a syllable is the smallest pronounceable part of a word. Every word has one syllable, at least one syllable. It may have multiple syllables. It has at least one syllable. And every syllable has to have a vowel. Every syllable has to have a vowel. In Arabiya, the vowels are a, e, u, or the long vowels. If you make them, they actually started with the long a, e, u, and then the short vowels are a, e, u, and then you can mix them up: a, e, a, u, e, u, and those are your diphthongs. One of those 10 sounds will be in every sound that you make in Arabic. One of those 10. I'll repeat them to you again. A, E, U, or A, E, U, or A, E, A, U, E, U. One of those 10 sounds is in every Arabic word that exists. And every Arabic word has at least one syllable. All right? Now, every Arabic word does not have to, every syllable does not have to have a consonant. Okay? Consonant. Contrary to what we were taught and what I used to teach myself, that consonants are non-vowel sounds, that's wrong. Straight up. That's wrong. All right? Consonant, the very word itself, I should have known before, but I didn't know. All I had was what they gave me. And I went and distributed it the best that I could. Pass it on. But I'm trying to correct it now. The very word itself tells you. Con means with. Sonant means sound. So consonants go with sound. They do not represent sound themselves. They go with sound. And what is the purpose of them going with sound? To tell you how to use your speech faculties. Whether you should stick your tongue through your teeth and say the word, or whether you should put your tongue at the roof of your mouth or hold it flat, or whether you should send the sound through your nose, and whether your mouth should be open or closed. That's what the consonants do. They tell you what to do with your speech faculties, all right? And then, the only thing that can come out after that is those 10 sounds. They will come out based on whatever influence those consonants have. The three capacities that consonants serve in telling you those things, they either can tell you where to start making a sound or where to stop making a sound, or a combination of both, start and stop. You start from this consonant position, say the vowel sound, and stop in this consonant position, whether it's the same consonant or not. That's what makes up your syllable types. You can go back and visit the archives and see. You'll find lessons on, I don't have the lesson numbers, but you'll find lessons on that deal with the syllable types. There are 4 types of syllables. I can tell you, but I don't have time to demonstrate them today. There's a syllable that has a vowel only. There's a syllable that has one type, type 1, vowel only. Type 2 is where you have a position from which you start to make a vowel sound. And syllable type 3 is where you make a vowel sound, and then stop in a consonant position. And then syllable type 4 is where you start from a consonant position, make the vowel sound, and then stop in the same or a different consonant position. So let me just give you an oral example of that. Let's just take the word the sound, ah. Ah by itself could be a syllable. That would be syllable type 1. I want to make syllable type 2, it would be ba. I want to make syllable type 3, it would be ab. See, ba, ab. Just reverse it. Ba, and then reverse it, ab. It's the same ah, but you started from same, and I use the same consonant so that you can see it here very clearly. Ba, ab. And then we're using the same consonant again. That now we're going to have the ah in between two consonants, and it will be bab, bab. Those are your syllable types. Learn to practice that, and you're going to be able, it's going to jump off the pages at you if you will do that. But if you say, let me just hear you say it, and then I'll say it. Mm-hmm. And you can, but then you'll have to hear every word. You have to hear me say every word, or somebody else say, and that's the way some people get. I'll tell you, you call me, I'll tell you how to pronounce it. And you'll be leaning on them forever. If you get that information that I just gave you there and begin to digest it on the 4 syllable types and how they work, only thing you need to know then is, what is this consonant telling me to do? That's the only problem. What is this consonant telling me to do? And someone can easily tell you, well, it's telling you to stick your tongue through your teeth. It's telling you to hold your lips together and let it burst out. It's telling you to let it come out, slide out with a little air coming out. All of those, the consonants are doing all those things. But we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that today. We're going to move on. And so, what we have on the board is the first line up here is called the ta'uz. Ta'uz. And ta'uz is the dua that we make before reading or reciting Quran. We say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Please do that. Do not neglect to do that. Allah tells us to do that in the Quran. He says, before reading the Quran, seek refuge with Allah. Allah tells us to do that. Okay, so that's the phrase. And so here it is syllabicated. Every other syllable, the syllables change colors every time we change syllables. So the first one is vowel only. It just happened to be a vowel. That's ah. Ah. Then the next one is syllable type 2. I'm doing something to this mic I don't want to do. Syllable type 2. Oh. It's ayn is the vowel, is the consonant telling you to go in your throat and say ooh. Oh. So it's not ooh. Some people want to say ooh do. No, it's oh. You got to go in your throat. Oh. Do. Some of us say ooh do. That's not right. I don't want to say all the things we say that we might be here a while. Okay. Well, something else I did notice that it made me very happy. I noticed that after prayer now, everybody's not saying Tukabdullah. Some people are saying Takabballah, and that's correct. Takabballah. May Allah accept this. Takabballah. Okay, that whole dua is in the Quran. When Ibrahim and Ismail completed the house, they said, Rabbana takabbal minna. That's what it is. Rabbana takabbal minna. Innaka anta samiul alim. Our Lord, accept this from us. Surely you are the hearing, you are all hearing, all knowing. Okay, let us go on here now. Okay, so the ta'uz. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. All right. Now something came up there that reminded me of the thing that we are supposed to do and will do, inshallah, during this session. Not only are we going to teach you how to say the words, but we're also going to teach you how to recognize the punctuation that is in the Quran. The punctuation is called, what is it called? Anyway, the punctuation mark. That tells you whether to stop or start. I'm not going to make it up. I can't remember it right now. But anyway, the punctuation mark tells you how to run words together, how to start and how to stop a sentence, and etc. Okay. So, for instance, let me give you a good example. And we hear it all the time. We say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. You can't put a noon on that. I mean a shadda on the noon because it's not there. It's shaitan, and then the noon goes with the next word. Shaitanir rajim. Ad-rajim is the last word. Ad-rajim. But we connect it to shaitan, and that this is tajweed. That where tajweed is things that we can do with the language in order to make it easier and more proficient. So it's A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That's going to be a difficult one for you to change. unless you try. If you try it all the time, it won't be difficult at all. I had a brother tell me that one time over in Gary. I don't know whether he's still living or not. He told me he heard me recite the 99 attributes, and I had 2 out of order because I learned them in the order that they had been presented in the name book. And I had Malikul Mulk and Zul Jalal wal Ikram in the wrong place. And the brother had done that in the name book for space, because where he was putting where it came up, he had enough room that was too long attributes. And the next Friday, the brother heard me say, and I put him in the right place because he says in the Quran. I said, you're right. I found him, so I found the correct order in the Quran. I put him in the right place. And he told me, he said, you did that right away. I said, yeah, because it was right, and I went to work on it. You were right. I went to work on it. In other words, I shouldn't change the order. That's what he was bringing to my attention. He wanted to know that I have some heavy explanation as to why I changed the order. And I just, it was very simple. I learned it out of the brother book, the name book. Many of you remember that name book that came. He added it in the wrong order. And then, of course, once the brother brought it to my attention and showed me in the back of the Quran that he had. And I said, right, we'll do that. And now I understand why this brother, Maceo, the brother who he may allow forgive him the sins and grant him paradise, Brother Maceo Aziz, he put out a little book called the Name Book, and he had those 2 attributes in the wrong place. The point I'm making is, when you hear something that's correct yourself. Because guess what? Can't nobody else do it but you. So if either correct yourself or say it just ain't happening. Nobody else can correct you. Okay, so that's the taruz. And shaitan, and then the noon of shaitan, and the word is shaitan. But the noon goes and connects with arajim. Instead of saying shaitan, arajim, see, that's what I mean by taruz easy. Shaitan, say shaitan, arajim. Now shaitan, nirajim. Which one is easier? The second. Shaitan nirajim. That's much easier than saying shaitan and then shaitan arajim. Shaitan nirajim. That's the purpose of the rules of tajweed, to make it easier, to facilitate speaking. Okay, so now, this next line says Suratul Fatiha. Not Fatiha. Fatiha. What's happening? This last letter here, you notice I don't have the dots on it. In the word al-Fatiha, it has 2 dots on it. It's called ta marabuta. But when it's at the end of an expression, you reduce it to just a ha instead of a ta. All right? And so that makes it like ha, Suratul Fatiha. All right. Now, I just made this up to let you know now we're getting ready to start. This is just a marking. The rest of the place I use Quranic markers, but I was trying to save space. And this wasn't taking up a whole line, so I started the Bismillah on the same line. So I just put this big blackened space in there to let you know that's why the surah, the title stops. Suratul Fatiha. And then we have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, so we stop there. That's the first line. That's the first ayat. The second ayat. Elhamdu lillahi rabbil alamin. Notice I didn't say me. Alamin. Because if you see this this is our subject. This is showing you our subject. That little mark up here, that la, is saying do not stop. So if I stop, I would say alamin. Now you can do that in reciting the al-Fatiha. But I'm showing you how to read it according to the way it's punctuated. There's nothing wrong with saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, Siratal Ladina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayril Maghdubi Alayhim Waladdallin. There's nothing wrong with saying it that way. I mean, but I'm showing you what the punctuation marks are, all right? What the tajweed markings. Perhaps next first Sunday, I will bring you a sheet. I'll make some copies of it. For my students, my friends, my compadres who participate with me in the Quranic Arabic discussion, we have upgraded. We've gotten rid of paper. You only need paper for one person, the one who's going to do the writing. And then after you get through writing, take a picture of it and send it to everybody. All right? And it's fast, you know. It's fast. So, but anyway, I have some copies that I've made back in those prehistoric times when people had to use. You know, the beautiful thing about this is a sister came in on the lifeline, and she heard what I was trying to do, and she sent $500, I believe it was. It was $500 or a little more for us to buy a copier. Yeah, for to buy a copier. And so we still have it. We used it for a while. And then all of a sudden, the sister down in St. Louis was letting me know that she knew how to syllabicate the way I was showing. So she syllabicated all. She knew the al-Fatiha. She went and did another ayat that we had done, ayatul kursi. And she wrote it on a piece of paper, took a picture of it, and sent it to me. I said, hallelujah. This is a new day. This is a new day. But we also do need archives. And so with the same archival system that we're using now, this will mean that if you don't get it, maybe your grandchildren will. But it will be there. Inshallah, it will be there. Okay, so now, we did the Bismillahir Rahman, and then we got down to Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. What happened to the noon? It goes into the next, that little lad that tells me take the noon and go right on into the next. So instead of this saying Alameen, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, we say Alameen, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. All right? Okay. I hope you understand what we're saying. It enables you to make the connection. And now we had Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Why? Because the last says don't stop there. And there was nothing for me to connect it to over here because there was no article like L. Okay? So, Alameen. Okay. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. All right? And so now we go to ayat 4. Maliki Yawm Mid-Deen. Notice I didn't say Deeni. Why? See the ta, that little sign up there said I stopped. So I dropped the last vowel. It actually is Deeni, but I didn't put it. I put it up here because when you're syllabicating, you only use the marks that are going to be pronounced. So you'll find that there are letters missing. That's why we want to make sure that we have both the regular Arabic and the syllabication so you can see what's missing in the syllabication process. Let us move on because our time is running out. Maliki Yawm Mid-Deen. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. It's Eeni. So Eenu. But we got the top, so nasta'in, and we dropped the last vowel. All right. Then we go to ayat 6. This little zero here, that's a ha. This is the same letter as this. And you need to practice writing. You don't need anybody to teach you that. I'm serious. Take your Quran. As long as it's big enough for you to see. If you got a little small, but you need a Quran where the writing is big enough to see. And just draw what you see in the Quran. Pretty soon you're going to realize, hey, I can write this. I don't have to draw it. Because that's what you started doing in the first place. You would draw your name. And finally, you got so used to it, you write your name. And then after you got so you can write your name, then now you're grown, you call it what? Signature. At first it was just drawing your name, then you learn to write your name, and now you call it a signature. Meaning it's uniquely mine. All right? Okay. So anyway, this letter here is the same letter as this one right here. All right. It's matter of fact, I should have mentioned it up here. This is the last letter in the word Allah. All right. Allah. A'udhu billah, billahi, billahi. All right. And here in Bismillah, here, see it is again, the same letter. It's made different ways. Most all of your letters, all of them except, I think it's 6, but I won't take the time to count them now, have 4 different positions. A position when they're at what they look like at the beginning of a word, what they look like in the middle, first of all, what they look like by themselves. Then at the beginning of a word, in the middle of a word, and the end of a word. Every letter except 6, and those are those 6 letters, and for those of you who know, you have 6 letters that will not accept the connection on the left. So they don't have beginning position. If they're the first letter in the word, they still don't connect to the rest of the word. You understand what I'm talking about? So those 6 letters do not have, they only have 2 positions. They have a position what they look like at the by itself and at the end of a word. That's the only 2 positions they have. Because if you put it at the beginning of a word, it looks like it's by itself. You put it in the middle of a word, it looks like it's at the end of a word. So there's only 2 positions. But that's 6 letters. And if you've been practicing writing anything, then you know that there are 6 letters that will not connect to another letter on the left. Meaning they connect to the letter that comes before them, but they won't connect to the letter that comes after. So I gave them a name. And Agin's name for them is righteous letters because they only accept the connection on the right. All right? You like that, don't you? All right. Okay. Ihdinas. Now, the word is ihdina, but it's going to the word sirat, and sirat, this is a heavy letter. This is heavy. And so this heavy letter influences na and makes it become nos. If you say ihdinas, you have said something else. You don't have an option to say, well, I like ihdinas. No, it's dinas. If you say dinas, now you've gone into something else. People. There you go. I started to say the word, he said it for me. Now you're talking about people, and this is talking about a path. Okay. Okay. Ihdinas siratal. Not tal, tal. This is the same category we're talking about here. Heavy letters. Tal mustaqima. Why? Because we said don't stop, so we have to pronounce the last qima. All right. Then ayat 7. Siratal ladhina an'amta. I lay him. I want to make a comment on this because this word here is really one word, an'amta. An'amta is one word, but it sounds like 3 words that we might say, an'amta. No, it's ayn. This is not this is ayn, okay? But so many, an'amta, mean, and the conjunction and. This is not the conjunction and. This is, first of all, the root word here is na'ima, and this is the prefix for a request. It would be a command if we weren't talking to Allah, but we're talking to Allah, so it becomes a request. You don't command Allah. If I use a in front of a word for you, I'll be telling you, commanding. It's a request, asking Allah to make it, because na'ima means to make it easy. So we're asking Allah to make it easy. And I lay him, you made it easy on them. I lay him. I lay, that's the same. Assalamu alaikum. Now we say I lay him. The him is plural for third person, them. And we say you put ease on them. Na'ima, you put ease on them. This is also how you learn to comprehend without artificial translation. Well, that word means this. No, look at how it's used. This is saying that you put ease. Ilay is the same ilay in ilaykum. Ilaykum means on you. This means on them. All right? Alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi. I lay him. Where? Lord. This word is la. But it's going into the word edda. at dark. So it gets heavy just like the nag. That nag is heavy up here. Then it says in lad is log. If you say lad, you're saying something else. All right. If you want to give them the word, fine. That's all right. Log, darling, not darling. Doll. See that long mouth up there? It's a madda. Meaning it's a long vowel, make it even longer. Darling. All right. And then anytime you see this mark here, that means it's the end of a rukun or a section. It's called a section. We call it, in English, we call it a section. All right. In this case, it's also because the end of a section will always, the end of a chapter will also always be the end of a section. Although there are places that some chapters have more than one section in them. And so you'll see the same mark, not only at the end of chapters, but at the end of a section. And look at it. Akbar said, he think he got me, and I made it. I got 24, 3, 2, I won't count down. Okay, so we wanted to present this, and first Sunday, hopefully this will be up by that time. If it's not, the Al-Fatiha is already up. But we wanted to give it to you with the explanation of what we're doing here, okay? We're reading according to the harakats. That's the punctuation, harakats, according to the harakats, all right? The punctuation and vowel sound, the punctuation and vowel sounds on the letters. And then you have marks that tell you how to end phrases. And the two major ones, we had two here today. There are others that tell you to pause, but the two major ones you want to know is the ta, and that's right, the ta and the la, all right? Ta and la. Those are the two major ones. La means do not stop. Ta means you must stop. The others represent options. Thank you very much.
Could you read the whole thing one more time?
Oh, sure, okay. If Brother Akbar will allow me, because he done took my time.
Go right ahead, brother.
All right. Now this will be non-stop for your recording.
Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That is the ta'uz, the title of the chapter. Suratul Fatiha. The first ayat, first ayat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdu lillahi rabbil alamin rahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqimah. Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim wa laddallin. And of course we always know we say in our hearts, if not out of our mouths, Ameen. And so we agree with that. And we trust that. That's Ameen really means I trust it. It comes from the same word that believer comes from. Amunah means I trust. I do want to make one quick comment. Brother showed me an ayat in the Quran today. 4:15. 4th chapter 15 verse. And he wanted me to make some comment. I'm not going to make comments on stuff that I don't have together. So but here's what I told him, is because he said sister had asked him about why there was this distinction between the punishment for men who commit adultery, and women. All of you are familiar with that. Now, I had never given it any thought, and I don't remember Imam Mohammed commenting on it. But there was one word in there that gave me the clue to let me know, no, there's something wrong with this. It says, your women. It didn't say, the word for women is, no, that's what they're using. That's what they use. It's untha. Untha. The word for female is untha. But they didn't say, the word, Allah didn't say untha. He said nisa'akum. And nisa'akum is not female. And then if they turn around and say, brother, what's the name of that chapter? We both agree. The name of the chapter is Nisa. And although they're translated as the women, but that chapter was revealed because these ignorant people had for so long forgotten the importance of women in our lives. And that's why they're called like the forgotten one. This is what you forget. So Nisa'akum is not your women, it's your forgetfulness. Now, so you treat your forgetfulness differently from just making a mistake. All right, brother. So if it's your forgetfulness that's caused you to, then you have to stay in your house for a long time, sucker. Until Allah gives you. I'm going to study that ayat more, but just that one word. I'm just showing you how, just one word. And I had not researched it. I had never thought, or you never heard me say anything about that particular ayat. I had mentioned about one place where they translated in this outlandish translation, where it says they're believing men. And that's not, it doesn't say men or women, it says believers. Believers, they translate it as believing men. And it doesn't say, it says believers, okay? So, just that one word, nisa'akum, is not your women. And nisa is not a dignified title for women. It is what Allah is showing that those ignorant masters who, by the way, they go so far as to try to hide from their own mistakes. And I challenge either one of you, when you read the Quran, when it says desert Arabs, bring it to me and show me where the word desert is there. It says those Arabs were some ignorant suckers who fought against the prophet. They said the desert Arab means, no, it was them desert Arabs. No, it says Arabs. No adjective.
Those who speak
Arabic. Those who speak in Arabic. Didn't have anything to do with where they were living, whether they were living in the city or out in the desert. But that's the translator trying to hide, because I'm Arab. And I don't want her to say, that ain't me, that's them. All right, so we have those kind of little tricks that are played. And be mindful of the translation. We have to read translation until we learn to read the Arabic. But as you read translation, don't hesitate to question something that's stupid. I don't know how much Arabic this particular sister knew, but she knew something was wrong if the men are going to get treated different from the women. Your heart tells you that. Huh? Yeah, your heart tells you that. How come I got to stay in the house until Allah let me out? All right, thank you very much. Brother Akbar, somebody, whoever coming up here now. Thank you.